Fabrizio Romano has given us a here we go to Timo Werner going to Tottenham Hotspur. So I want to get straight into it. It's your boy Mr. Box Office from Mr. Box Office TV, back with another video, back with another episode of the story time of Mr. Box Office about Timo Werner has signed a 6-month loan deal to the rest of the season at Tottenham Hotspur. And it's very interesting to see the reaction to this transfer, and especially the fact that it came out of absolute left field, and that's it. And it was confirmed yesterday by Fabrizio Romano that here we go, that Timo Werner is coming to Tottenham on loan without a buy option clause that is not mandatory. So it's quite interesting that Tottenham Hotspur are making this move, which came out the blue completely. On the face of it, you should give Tottenham credit right now, because clearly they can see that we're short of options at the moment. And there's so many optimistic things about this deal that we could be optimistic about. But also there's things that long term I've got question marks on. But without the short term, you can't really go into the long term, can you? So let's get straight into it, why I feel these things, and that's it. Starting with the short term. So when I look at the transfer right now, you can see there are positives in this transfer. And some of the positives that we need to look at right now is look at it like this. You can see his manager right now, basically, he wants game time at the moment. He's not going to get game time at the moment, clearly because he's quite down the pecking order at the moment. So his manager says that he wants to move so he can enhance his chances of getting back into the German team due to the Euros in the summer. So there's the first motivation to it. If he does really well at Tottenham, Bob's your uncle, you can get back into the Germany team in the Euros. And you know that is very, very important for players who play internationally to get back into the Euros, and that's it. To play for their country, and that's it. So that's one plus point. Another plus point is he also says that Timo Werner wants to come to Tottenham because he wants to play under Ange, which is another tweet as well, which I'll try and find right now. He's accepted the proposal, and he's very keen to work with Ange. Brilliant. He wants to come to Tottenham. The manager and him have formed a bond. Great. Now, you now look at what he has done before. You sit there and say, well, he's playing for a club like Chelsea. Some people will say and give the excuse saying, well, Chelsea wasn't the club that was very stable at the time. A lot of competition. There was lots of competition for places, and he struggled. So you could say, well, if he's in a more stable environment at Tottenham, where the manager's got full reign of what he wants to do, give him specific tasks, what he wants to do, what he wants from him. Yes, great. Why can you not have him? Why can we not give it a go? You might see a different version of Timo Werner. Because what did I say before? What is his motivation of being in this team right now? He wants to go to Germany. He wants to play for Germany in the Euros. So he wants to be picked for that. So that's a motivation. And also, he wants to play for Ange. We also look at his specifics of what he could do in the team. So let's look at it from this. Big up to Ben Alir, a journalist. Big up to him. This is what I got this from. One of his pluses. He's a versatile forward, so he can play all throughout the front line. Okay, great. He can play. He's got speed. He's got pace. He's like Son, pace. And when you look at what we've got at the moment with Son at the Asia Games, this is a great option for us. That's it. His movement off the ball is another plus point. He can turn it over, and he presses well as well. Great point as well. So these are all good points to why this could be a great signing. for Tottenham Hotspur. And in the short term, looks good. And also could even give us the opportunity to show that we've got a good opportunity to start thinking that we are pushing for that title, pushing for that Champions League. Now, again, when I say pushing for the title, again, just to say to people, I say this because this is the bang average league. I don't think Tottenham will put together a big run of games, a long run of games. The team that does that will win the league. I think that should be Man City all day, every single day. But it's all to play for any team in that top six at the moment. So I'm not just talking about Tottenham, I'm talking about anybody. And this signing, if he does the numbers that he could do at RB Leipzig, you can see what happens. We'll see what happens, and that's it. That's all I will say, and that's it. It's not saying that anything else, but there's a reason for this signing. They can smell something right now, they can see. And even Postecoglou can see it. With a team that's got no expectations for doing anything this season. So we can see what's happening there. But then go on to what I say the long term. Well, we haven't finished with the short term yet, but the point is, with Tottenham Hotspur bringing in Timo Werner, he could form relationships with the likes of Kulu, Maddison, Poro, Basuma. They could form a relationship. And it's kind of a situation where we're doing the same thing we did with Kulu and Bentancur. Try before you buy. You try before you buy. We can see whether how he fits in with the characters we've got already. So there's a lot of optimism about this. The only downside to it is that it could not work out. He might flatter to deceive. Also, the fact as well, the expectations for him this season won't be that big. So that's another positive point as well. So if he overachieves to what people expect, that might be very good for Tottenham. Then you're sitting there saying the fee of £15 million to 20 don't look too bad. But then you go into the long term of what my concerns are for this guy. Now, if he does well, for instance, scores goals, does the assists that, overachieves what he achieves, what is he going to do next season to achieve more? Because it's always about what you can do better. And the proof of the pudding is, since his stint at RB Leipzig, his first reign at RB Leipzig, when he went to Chelsea, he hasn't recovered since. The expectations of his time at RB Leipzig and then going to Chelsea, he flopped. That's the negative around it. Can you do that? And give my example of Kulu. Kulu came in, set the house on fire first 6 months at Conte. Since then, what has he done since? This is the problem. You can do that so much and see how you improve, and that's it. But then if you don't improve, and the thing is though, the motivation of him coming to Tottenham to prove people wrong, well, you've proved people wrong the first 6 months, but now you've got to go to the next level. And to be fair to him, he's not the only player like this. There are other players like this. Matoma won, had a great season. Have you seen him? No. Saka had a great season last season. Have you seen him? No. Martinelli had a great season. Seen him? No. Jorginho for Arsenal, first 6 months, great. Even though they flopped the championship. Have you seen him this season? No. This is the thing. Players struggle when they put their expectations up there, they can't go to that next level. And that's a struggle for me. But I'll give you a scenario what I think we should do if we don't have another option in the summer, but we'll get to that in a bit. So hold on that. I gave you a spoiler alert on that one. Another thing as well, his other motivation was for Ange. I love Ange. I think I want to play for Ange because I've heard so much brilliant stuff about him. Love this. Absolutely love this. Okay. What happens if next season it doesn't really work out for us next season, and there's toxicness next season, and Ange leaves? Because I've said I need convincing about how long, whether this is going to work long term. Well, if he leaves, where's your motivation now? Because you come because you want to play for Ange, but what if he leaves? Are you going to be motivated now? Is your whole thing is about playing for Tottenham, or are you just playing for the manager? Because if you're just playing for the manager, you know Tottenham's record of keeping managers now these days. That's all I need to say, and that's it. Again, those are long-term concerns that you've got to say, long-term concerns, and that's it. And the example is Perisic. Yeah, Perisic has worked out, but he's leaving at the end of the season now because of his injury. Yeah, he's convinced. He was convinced by Ange, and he stayed, and that's it. That's cool. But certain times it doesn't really work out. And another thing as well, this puts more pressure on Ange again because he's getting another player that he wants. So when people say, "Oh, he hasn't got what he wanted," and that's it, well, he's okayed it because he said, "Yes, I want this player." He's going to okay everything that comes into Tottenham. He's going to okay it, and he's only if he okays it. So this is Ange's signing. So I don't want to hear excuses again. So I think I've stated quite clearly right now that long term, the short term, there are some good gains for this signing. But long term, there are concerns if we go for it. Now, so this is really what scenario I put out there for Tottenham fans. If we are going to do this long term, and I think this is a sign. This is something that we should do in the long term for any signing we've got. Do this. Okay, he does well the first 6 months. Cool. We do another loan, do a year loan, pay a loan fee, right? Put some things in there, some targets for Werner to do throughout the year. Some targets, some goal targets, some assist targets. And if he hits them, incentives, if you put those incentives in that contract, if he goes to a certain level, you make the transfer permanent. But he has to match those levels. Because I forgot to even mention this as well. The guy's 27 years old. He's 27 years old, so he's in his prime. So we're not talking about a youngster no more. We're not talking about like a Kulusevski or a Sarr or a Scarlett who's just beginning his career. He's 27 years old, so he should be at his prime. So we should be getting the prime years of Timo Werner for the next couple of years if we do sign him in the future. So I think for me, long term, you need to put incentives in there and try and sweeten the deal with RB Leipzig. You'll get this certain money if he does this. You get this certain money if he does this. You get this certain money if you do this, like we did with Dele Alli at Everton. Now, it hasn't worked out, but I think this will work out better for us. It also will motivate Werner saying, well, you've got these targets to meet. If you meet these targets, yeah, you'll get the wages that you want, because he will also want a higher wage as well. So this is the thing as well. So I think I've kind of made it clear where I'm at with this transfer at the moment. Good signing short term, long term. Don't know. And I'll scrutinise him like any other person that I play, any other Tottenham player, and that's it. So that's your short, sharp video on your and story time, Mr. Box Office. You'll see more of this, see more videos like this, and please like and subscribe. I need to 1,000 subscribers, and please, it will really be appreciated. As we always end the video, if you didn't know, get to know, support your boy, Mr. Box Office, subscribe and like, and come on, you Spurs. And I'm out.